Welcome back to La Posta. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3 steaks that you won't find anywhere else in Jakarta. Chef Pancho is from the north of Argentina, Salta. And so right up in the north of Argentina, the cuts of beef are a little bit different. Some have similar names to what they have in Buenos Aires, for example, but they look a bit different. Pancho family restaurant in Salta was very famous for its unique style of serving traditional Argentine food, and that included some of the cuts that I'm going to be talking about today. The first of those cuts is the churrasco. You'll probably have heard the name in other restaurants, but maybe Brazilian restaurants, and actually our cut is different. We're talking about the strip loin steak cut in a special way that makes it really long. So we call it the sirloin strip. It's juicy, tender, and lean, and you won't find it anywhere else. The second cut is the salt-crusted beef ribs. Now, if you've been watching us for any length of time, you'll have heard me talk about the beef ribs before. And if you've been to the restaurant, you've probably tried the salt-crusted beef ribs, but it's one of our signature cuts here in La Posta. It's salty, it's fatty, it's chewy, but what makes it unique is that we cut the beef ribs ourselves. So the beef rib comes in a loaf, and then we saw the bones ourselves to give it this really thick piece of meat on the bone. Normally when you get beef ribs in a restaurant, then you'll get a very thin cut of beef ribs on the bone, and that's because it normally comes ready cut from the supplier. And again, it's a cut that we haven't seen anywhere else in Indonesia. I'm sure in Argentina, this is one that you would see more commonly because they have a lot of open fire grills, and having beef ribs on the grill is quite common in Argentina. The third cut I want to mention is the butterfly cut ribeye. Now, you will have surely heard of the ribeye steak. We know what it looks like. Sometimes it's on the bone, sometimes it's off the bone. In our restaurant, we sell it on the bone. But this particular cut is from the ribeye steak that's normally on the bone, and we remove it from the bone, and then it's sliced in half, and then it's opened to give it this butterfly form. This is one of our most popular steaks because it's a big sharing steak. This cut is so juicy, it's so tender, it's got a high fat content, and like I say, it's one of our most popular because it's great for sharing. So we talked about the sirloin strip. It's about 300 grams, so that makes it a great individual steak. We also discussed the salt-crusted beef ribs. That comes in 4 sizes, so you can decide whether you want it as an individual steak or something for sharing with others. The butterfly cut ribeye, that's the biggest cut of the ones that we've talked about today. But these are all so unique. Let me know if you try any of these cuts, what you thought, and let me know if you've seen them anywhere else. I'd love to know.